with Renmin Daily. Minister Gao, after the successful convocation of Beijing Winter Sports, we still have a lot of good memories, and it has left us with abundant legacies. In the Spring Festival, Winter Sports has become a New Year tradition. So, what will the administration do to better meet the growing demand for winter sports of the people? Thank you. After the careful deployment and instruction of General Secretary Xi Jinping, as well as the guidance of the State Council, the Beijing 2022 Winter Olympic Games has been successfully convened, and it has left us with abundant legacies. The winter sports now witness wider coverages among the general public, and we see a larger varieties of winter sports and more abundant ways to participate. In the Spring Festival, we have seen that some of the skiing grounds has become popular traveling destinations. In the post-Olympic time and period, we will continue to promote winter sports to wider range in the country and territory, and continue to consolidate the basis for participation of winter sports, hoping that about 300 million people will be participating in winter sports. The relevant ministries and administrations will be setting up special posts for winter sports in schools at primary and secondary levels, and we will also discuss new ways to encourage more students to participate in winter sports. We provide them with professional guidance and services. At the same time, we will also be creating more employment opportunities that have been cultivated in the Beijing Olympic cycle. Second, we will continue to improve the level of public services of winter sports, including the organization of winter sports season, winter games, and venues for winter sports that are close to the people, so that more people will be willing and will have access to these facilities. And three, we will stress safety in the process and make sure that the whole industry is safe and has a wider coverage among the general public. After the Beijing 2022 Winter Sports, the competition of winter sports in China has already entered the center stage of the world. We will continue to keep that momentum so that the winter sports can continue to win honors for our countries. In the past winter sports season, we have been gaining new grounds in some of the fields that are very strange to us, or we do not have a lot of brilliant historical records of in the past. But now we see major improvements in all of these fields. A lot of talents have been cultivated to better prepare us for the Milan cycle. We will continue to improve the sustainability of the winter sports venues of the Beijing Games and continue to be the host for winter sports international competitions, strengthen our cooperation with foreign countries and organizations, so that we can better tell the winter sports, the Chinese version of winter sports, and continue to consolidate our achievements and influence of us in the international winter sports stage. Winter sports is not only a means for us to gain honors, but also to improve the well-being of the people. Now we see a rising passion of the general public in this regard, and people are now gearing up for the winter sports and winter sports season. And sure enough, people would have a higher demand for the service quality of winter sports. Therefore, we have to treat the ice and snow of our country as another important natural resources, so as to better connect the demand with our supply of sports resources, so as to further promote the development of winter sports industry and stimulate the consumption in this field. We will also be supporting the manufacturing industry for winter sports equipment, expand the scope of winter sports performance, encourage development of new rising fields, so that the benefit for the development of winter sports can be better enjoyed by the people and contribute to economic and social development in general. With Beijing Weekly.
谢谢主持人。高局
Thank
长您
you.
好，我是中国外文局美洲中心北京周报社的记者。足球、篮球、排球运动
So football,
深受群
volleyball,
众喜
and
爱。三大
basketball
球发
are
展
warmly
备受
welcomed
社会
by
各
the
界
people,
关
very
注。
popular
然而当
sports,
前，
so
我国
people
全面
focus
推
a
进
lot
三大
on
球
the
发展的
development in
情
this
况
regard.
不太理想。请问
But
您如
the
何看待这
performance
个问
of
题？体育
Chinese
总局下一
players
步
in
对
these
振兴三大球
three
有什么
sports are
工作打
not so
算？谢谢
ideal
您。
and at the moment. So what are your plans next?
足球、篮球、
Football,
排球
basketball, and
三大
volleyball
球集体球类项目，参与人口多，
is a collective sport
影响力
event
大，
and highly
深受
influential
广
in
大
the
人
world
群众，
stage, and
特别
they
是
are the
青少年的喜
most
爱。
popular sports,
三大球
especially
的
among
比
young
赛
people
成
and
绩
teenagers.
不仅仅是
The
一场比赛的
performance
胜负，
of the national team
更体现的
on
是
these three sports
集体主义
are
精神，
not only a demonstration
蕴
of
含着
national strength,
爱国主义
but
情怀。
also an embodiment of collectivism and
我
patriotism.
国三大球，
In our
特别
history,
是女子
these
项目，
three sports,
在世界上
especially
都
the
取得过
women's event,
好的成绩。
has won major
中国女足
prizes and honors
曾经夺
for
得
our
过
country.
奥运
The
会
China's women's
世界杯
football
的
team
亚
has
军，
won
被誉为
the runner-up
铿锵有力。
for Olympics as
中
well
国女
as
篮
Asian Games.
继3个世纪
The China's
80年代
women's basketball
90年代
team
在奥
is
运
one
会
of the top teams
世界
in the
锦标赛
80s
上
and 90s and
夺
won
取奖牌。
honors in the Olympics as well as World
又夺取了
Championship. Last
世界杯的
year,
亚军，
it won the
展示了
runner-up for the
持
World
续
Cup,
进取和发展的，
showing the sport spirit of perseverance,
在艰
advancement.
苦磨练中锤炼出来的
In training,
中国女
they
排，
have fostered the
一代
spirits
又一代，
of
接续奋斗。
Chinese women's
在
volleyball
世
team.
界3大赛上
They
10次夺得，
are the
世界
top
冠军，
team in
为
many
祖
of
国
the world's
争得了荣誉。
volleyball events.
他
And
们以奋斗和拼搏、
their fighting
凝聚的
spirit and
祖国之上
integrity,
团结协作、
as well
顽
as
强
their
拼
spirit
搏
of
永
cooperation,
不言败的女排精神，
has been
更是
a
激励了一
guiding
代
spirit
又一
and
代
a
国人
great source of
为
inspiration
实现
for
中华民
people
族
of one
伟大复
generation
兴的
after another
中国
and
梦不
contributing
懈奋斗。
to this national rejuvenation.
实
However,
事的讲，
to be honest,
较长一段时间以来，
for a very long
我
time,
三大球，特别是男子项目发展不尽如人意，
the men's team of these three sports are not doing so well,
一路下滑，
especially
足球业
the
内
men's football
甚
team.
或出现了诸多乱象。
But At the same time, we also have seen a lot of scandals in the football arena. This is a sharp contrast when it comes to the high expectations of the CP Central Committee as well as the general public. So it is our major task to promote development of these three sports. Recently, some of the scandals have made the headlines again in the football field. And we are now studying measures to address these problems. We plan to make progress in the following aspects, including, first of all, the spirit of a long march will be exerted in these three fields. We will be taking strict measures to tackle the difficulties, especially the most difficult problems in terms of their spirit and mindset. We will continue our efforts to change this kind of setbacks in our work. We will also be cracking down the corruption and other malpractices in the football field, so that system can be better optimized and the system can be restored and be geared back to the right track. Football and basketball transformation is being deepened. So we are now facing daunting tasks in terms of the reform of these fields. We will continue along this road of reform, innovation, and development, and continue to liberate our mind and stick to innovation so as to build a better system for management, human resources, training, and competition, as well as logistics. We will continue to optimize the development path for the three sports with Chinese characteristics. We must take the problems head on and consolidate our confidence and have a better and thorough understanding of the general plan for the development of the Chinese football, so as to further optimize the system and strengthen capacity building of the three sports. We must stay committed to the path of reform of the three sports. It is our task to consolidate the basis for the three sports, as well as the human resources talent pool for the three sports, start at a very young age, so that our systematic advantage can be in full play and the market mechanism can be fully used. Football in the campus and schools must be focused on. And we also need to strengthen the backup human resources for the sports.
We must work from the grassroots level to actively support and cultivate those youth football clubs' development. In terms of policies, budgets, and talents pool, we will steer more toward the social football development, so that the professional football games and the social football development could be emphasized at the same time. So at the grassroots level, we will continue to improve the competition system and professional contest mechanism so as to pave the way for the development of those young talents, starting from the on-campus football to social football clubs to professional football games. Those talents could be well cultivated and have a green pathway to be professionals. And as to establish the pool of talents, we must be down to earth to create such a pathway for the growth of those backup talents so as to rejuvenate Chinese football for the long run. Next question.
请东区着粉色西装的女记者提问。
谢谢主持人。
Thank
你
you.
好，高局长。山东广播电视台记者提问。
From Shandong
党
TV.
的20大报告当中提出，
In
要
the
广泛
report
开
of the
展全
20th
民健
National
身活动。
Congress,
在
the
2019
mass
年
fitness
制定实施的
campaign was
建设
advocated,
体育
and
强国
in
建设纲要当中
2019,
的
in the
落实
guideline
全
for
民健身国家
developing
战略
the strong
助
power
力健
of
康中国建
sports,
设
it
也是
mentioned
重要
that
的战略任务
the
之一。
mass fitness
那么
campaign is
在
one of the
推
key
动
priorities
全
to
民健
support
身
the
促进全民
Health
健康
China
给予总局开展的一些
implementation.
具
So,
体的工作
what
呢？
has been done by the administration of sports as to that? Thank you for the question. Ever since the 18th National Congress, the CPC Central Committee, with Comrade Xi Jinping as its core, pay high attention to people's public health and fitness development. So mass fitness has been elevated to a national policy. Encouraging mass fitness and promoting public health are highly integrated. The general public had a higher sense of attainment and satisfaction. Mass fitness campaign is relevant to each and every one of us. It also matters greatly to the health condition of our public. Participating in exercises and boosting our health conditions have become the incentive of all public. And in recent years, with the leadership of the government and the joint efforts of all authorities, mass fitness has been booming with more favorable environment. First of all, the places of fitness have been put in place. The number of fitness places has been rising up. We greatly encourage the establishment of sports parks, the fitness centers, and the walkways, and other fitness projects. Those facilities are all around the general public. In that way, we fill in the loophole of mass fitness. At county, village, and township levels, the three-tiered public health network has been introduced. At the grassroots level, we have filling the blank in terms of facilities development. By the end of 2022, the per capita exercise area has been 26,000 square kilometers. That was a huge boost from 10 years ago. According to the statistics, the rural areas fitness projects coverage has been increased as well, a great deal. Secondly, the quality of facilities has been improved continuously. With the improved quality of fitness facilities steadily, at urban and rural level, we have established a series of very practical fitness and exercise places with higher level of intelligence. Everyone can locate a diversified supply of higher quality facilities in a premium environment. As to the elderly and the young children's fitness development, there have been some very friendly exercise places. Third, the business hours of those stadiums and the quality of those public stadiums has been improved. We tried very hard to conquer the difficulties as to the opening of those big stadiums. All levels of sports authorities and financial bureaus have come up with different measures to make breakthroughs as to that question. And the budget is about very high from the central level to support the opening of 2,500 stadiums to benefit 1,400 different counties. Those stadiums will be open to the public for free. By optimizing the service standards of those public stadiums and increasing the business hours of those stadiums, we keep improving the quality of service in those public stadiums, generating higher level of satisfaction from the masses. This year, we also plan to initiate the mass fitness public place improvement campaign with an aim to provide higher level of places for mass fitness. Here, I would also love to share with you about the exercises of the youth. Sports exercises can build the youngsters' bodies and cultivate their sense of health. Exercising is a good way for the sound growth of youngsters. According to the report of the 20th National Congress, we must strengthen our requirements of sports activities, and we must implement that spirit by enhancing the top-level design for the exercise of the youth. For example, we could work on the both fronts, including the on-campus activities and the professional sports activities. We will try to popularize the knowledge of sports and exercise, and together with the other authorities, our administration will convene several professional and thematic competitions and sports activities so that more youngsters would be mobilized to exercise their bodies. That would help the youngsters to reduce their weight and protect their eyesight. The youngsters could also cultivate a good living habit. Then, we aim for healthy development of those young children. Thank you, Mr. Gao.